Okay, so last video was about least common multiple, which we have right here at the left, and this video is going to be about greatest common factor. You're going to see that these two methods have some differences and some similarities, okay? So let's start with the process and then we'll talk about the differences and the similarities. So, greatest common factor. As always, we're going to see what the name tells us. Factor. So this time we're not talking about multiples, but about factors. We're going to call it GCF, greatest common factor. So we're going to talk about factors. Remember, a factor is a number in which I can divide another number. So factors. Now, we're talking about the common factors between two numbers. So first we have to list the number of the factors of a number. Then we have to see which factors they have in common. And then we're going to pick the greatest one. In the other one, we were talking about the least one. In this one, we're going to talk about the greatest one. The last one was about multiples. This one is about factors. Okay, so let's see the first example. It says GCF of 12 and 16. So I'm going to explain, same as last time, what it means and how to get them. But we're not going to use this method, but we're going to use the second method, same as last time. So for this one, let's start. We're going to list the factors, because we're talking about factors, of 12 and of 16. So for this one, we're going to use divisibility rules as always. So 12. 12, as always, we're going to start with 1 and 1. That's a factor that all the numbers share. Now let's start with the 12. Okay, so we know that 12 is 2, the last digit is 2, so it's divisible by 2. 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's divisible by 3. And we know that the next number is 4. We know it's divisible by 4. We already have a pair here, so we're going to do the next one. 2 times 6 and 1 times 12. Okay, if you want to do it the other method, the one I used in last class's video, it's okay. You're just going to have to list the factors. So the factors for 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now let's see about the factors of 16. There are going to be 1, 2, 3 is not a factor, 4, we have 4 and 4, but we're only going to write it once, for 8, and 16. That's it. Remember, if you want to learn how to do this, last class I showed you in a video how to find the factors, okay? If you don't know how to do it yet, go to previous class video. Go to the previous class video. So now we already have the factors for 12 and for 16. We're going to find which factors do they have in common. So in common we have the 1, the 2, and the 4. Now the name of the operation tells us greatest, biggest. Which of these numbers is the biggest one? 4, right? So in this case, we can say that I'm going to use black, that the GCF of 12 and 16 is going to be 4. So if you see, it's really similar to the LCM. I'm showing this example over here and this example over here. You have a list, you circle what they have in common. That's the similarity. Now the difference. In this one, in the one at the right, GCF, you list the factors. In the one at the left, you list the multiples. That's one difference. And another difference is that in the multiples, you take the least one, the smallest one, because it's least common multiple, and in the greatest common factor you take the biggest one, the greatest one, okay? So this is for you to understand where the number comes from. Now let's try to learn how to do it with our special method, okay? Now let's see. The process is going to be exactly the same as the one in least common multiple. We're going to divide both numbers at the same time, but it has one twist, and we're going to see which one is it. So let's start. 16 and 12. We're going to be able to divide them in 2. Even if one of them is divisible and the other one is 2, we divide it, okay? Same as least common multiple. 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 6 divided by 2 is 8. Here's the difference. Once we divide, we ask ourselves, both numbers were divisible by 2, or does it only works with 1? Does it only work with 1? If it only works with 1, we leave it like that. If it is able to divide both numbers, we're going to circle it. So if you notice in this example, the 2 divided the 12 and the 16. It worked for both. That's why we're going to circle the 2. This means it works for both. If it doesn't work for both, then we don't circle it. Let's see what happens next. 6 and 8, we're going to divide them by 2. 6 and 8, can we divide both or only one? Both, right? So as we divide both, we're going to circle these 2 also. And then we divide. 2 divided by 6, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's it. Once again, we're going to use the 2. 3 divided by 2 is not possible. We just bring the 3 down, same as least common multiple. And the 4 divided by 2 is 2. These 2, did it work for both or just for one? Just for one, right? Just for the 4. Because the 3 was not divisible by 2. That's why we're not going to circle that 2. That's it. Now, we have 2 and 3. 3 and 2. So we're going to use the 2 again. These 2, we're only going to use it for this one, so we're not going to circle it, okay? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. We finished here, and we bring the 3 down. That's it. Now, the 3 is not divisible by 2, so we're going to jump to the 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and as it only divided one of the numbers, we're not going to circle it. That's it. The process is the same. The only difference is that we circle the numbers that are able to divide both numbers, okay? Now, what is the result? The result of the GCF is the multiplication of the circled numbers. So in this case, the multiplication of these 2 numbers that are in the green circles. So 2 times 2, which in this case is 4. So the GCF of 12 and 16 is 4. And if you notice, the answer is the same as the long method, okay? So I'm going to do plenty of exercises, as always, for you to understand. If you already understand, you can stop here, up to you. If you already understand, I suggest you pause the video, try to do the exercises, and then see if the answer is correct. If you don't understand yet, don't worry, we have many exercises to practice. So let's see the examples, 18 and 24. I'm going to write them down, 24, and let's start dividing. So we're going to use the 2, and as we noticed, both numbers are divisible by 2, so I'm going to circle it with green. And then I can divide. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 24 divided by 2 is 12. That's it. I'm going to keep going with the 2 because of the 12. But in this case, the 2 is not going to be able to divide the 9. That's why we're not going to circle it, okay? So 9 divided by 2 is not possible. I bring the 9 down. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And that's it. I'm going to keep dividing in 2 because of the 6. 9 divided by 2 is not possible. 6 divided by 2 is 3. As it only divided the 3, I'm not going to circle it, okay? Now we have 3 and 9. Let's think about it. Can I divide these numbers into 2? No. So I'm going to jump to the 3. I can divide both numbers by 3. That's why I'm going to put it down and I'm going to circle it with green. Why? Because both numbers are divisible by 3. The 3 and the 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3, 1. That's it. I finished this one and I'm only missing this one, so I'm going to divide it by 3 and put the 1. Am I going to circle these 3? No, I'm not, because it only divided these 3 over here. So we have 2 numbers circled. So we're going to multiply 3 times 2. The answer is 6. So the GCF for 18 and 24 is 6. That's it. Really simple, right? Now let's see the next exercise, the next example. 36 and 42. So we're going to divide both by 2. As we can divide both, we're going to circle it. Now, 36 divided by 2 is 18. If you don't know how to do it, you can use the method of division. 2 in 3, it's 1 time. We have 1 number left. 2 in 16 is 8. Okay? And 42 in 2 is 21. Perfect. We can keep going with the 2 because we have an 18 here. So the 2 is only going to divide the 18. It's not going to be able to divide the 21. That's why I'm not going to circle it. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. 21 divided by 2 is not possible, so I bring it down. I can no longer divide by 2. How do I know this? Because I'm using divisibility rules. If you don't know them yet, you need to practice them, okay? Both numbers end in odd numbers, not even numbers. That's why I know I cannot divide it by 2. So I'm going to use the 3 in this case. And both numbers are divisible by 3. Not just one, but both. That's why I'm going to circle the 3. Perfect. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. I can still use the 3, but only for one number. That's why I'm not going to circle it. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I finished here. 7 divided by 3 is not possible. I bring the 7 down. And 7 is a prime number. That's why I know it can only be divided by 7. And I finished. So once again, two numbers circled, which are 3 times 2 or 2 times 3 is the same. So the GCF of 36 and 42 is 6. I hope you understand so far. Please, for the next examples, try to do it by yourself and then go to the answers, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 6 more exercises. So if you don't understand, don't worry. Keep calm and keep looking at the video. So 24 and 36. So one line, and we have, I'm going to start with the 2. Both numbers are divisible by 2, the 24 and the 36. That's why I'm going to circle the 2. So 24 divided by 2 is 12. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Both numbers are divisible by 2 again. That's why I'm going to circle it. And I'm going to keep dividing. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now, I'm going to keep going with the 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And 9 divided by 2 is not possible. That's why I didn't circle the 2, okay? Now, both numbers are divisible by 3. So I'm going to circle them. And let's keep dividing. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And I already finished here, and I'm missing dividing this one by 3. That's it. I'm not going to circle the last one because it only divided the second one. So we have 3 numbers here. We're going to multiply them. 3 times 2 times 2, which in this case, GCF of 24 and 36, remember to write this in your answers, okay? Is going to be 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12. So if you do the list of the factors of 24 and 36, you're going to see that the greatest common factor is going to be 12. I mean, if you look at the common factors and you pick up the biggest one, it's going to be 12. Okay, the next one, 27 and 36. So we have only one number is divisible by 2, so I'm not going to circle it. 27 is not divisible by 2. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Perfect. Only one number is divisible by 2. I don't circle it. 27 is not possible. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now, both numbers are divisible by 3. Guys, if you wonder how can I do it so fast, please watch the divisibility rules, learn them by heart, and you're going to see that you're going to become this fast doing the exercises, okay? As you see, I only take like, I don't know, 5 minutes or 2 minutes per exercise. I hope you can do it as fast as I can if you practice the divisibility rules, okay? So you need to practice them. So both numbers are divisible by 3, so we're going to circle the 3, and now we're going to write the answers. 27 divided by 3 is 9, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Both numbers are divisible by 3 again, so we're going to circle it. And the answers. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. We finished here. We're only missing this one. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. Why I don't circle the last one? Because it only divided the first one and not the second one. So we're going to multiply these two 3 together, the ones that are circled. So the GCF between 27 and 36 is going to be 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, now same as the least common multiple, we're going to do 4 exercises with 3 numbers for you to see that the process is the same. Okay, so we're going to have 18, 20, and 30, and we're going to do it at the same time, So in this case, pay attention. For you to circle a number, a divisor, it has to be able to divide the 3 numbers. If it only divides 2 numbers, you don't circle it, okay? You need to be able to divide the 3 numbers. So in this case, the 3 numbers are divisible by 2 because they all end in an even number. That's why I'm going to circle the 2. Remember, it has to be able to divide the 3 numbers. So we're going to write the answer. 18 divided by 2 is 9, 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. Only one number, which is this one, is divisible by 2. So I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to circle it. 9 divided by 2 is not possible. I bring the 9 down. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 15 divided by 2, not possible, so I bring the 5 down. That's it. Now, we keep going with the 2. Are we going to be able to keep going with the 2? No, there's none of the numbers right here is divisible by 2. So we have to jump to the 3. Is any of these numbers divisible by 3? Yes, pay attention. Only this one, the 9, and this one, the 15. The 5 is not divisible by 3. That's why I'm not going to circle it, because it's not able to divide the 3 numbers at the same time, okay? So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 5 divided by 3 is not possible, so I bring it down. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Now, once again, we're going to use the 3. Only one number, so I'm not going to circle it. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 5 divided by 3 is not possible, and 5 divided by 3 is not possible. And we finished here, and we're going to keep going with this one. None of them are divisible by 3, so we're going to jump to number 5. And number 5 is not able to divide 3, so it doesn't work. Even if it has 2, it doesn't work. So we're going to finish. That's it. So the only circled number is the 2, so that's it. The GCF between 18, 20, and 30 is going to be 2. That's it. Let's try with another example. We have 30, 45, and 75. Okay, so only one of the numbers is divisible by 2, that's why I won't circle it. 30 divided by 2 is 15, 45 divided by 2 is not possible, so I bring it down. 75 divided by 2 is not possible, so I bring it down. Now, this one, I don't know it by heart, so I'm going to do the divisibility rule. I know none of them is divisible by 2, so I'm going to try by 3. 1 plus 5 is 6, so this one is divisible by 3. 4 plus 5 is 9, this one is also divisible. 7 plus 5 is 12, this one is also divisible. So the 3 is going to work, and it's not only going to work, but it's going to work with all of the numbers. That's why I'm going to circle it. Now, 15 divided by 3 is 5, 45 divided by 2. Let's say I don't know the answer, so I'm going to use the division method I taught you last class. 3 and 4 fits one time. We have one number left, which is it's going to be in the middle. 3 and 15 is 5. So 45 divided by 3 is 15. And 75, let's try to use the division method. 3 and 7 fits 2 times, because 2 times 3 is 6. And we're missing one number, so we have 15. 3 and 15 fits 5 times, so 75 divided by 3 is 25. Good. Now, one of the numbers that is this one is divisible by 3. So I'm going to use the 3 again, but I'm not going to circle it. 5 divided by 3 is not possible. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 25 divided by 3 is not possible. So we bring it down. Now, none of the numbers are divisible by 3, so we're going to jump to the 5, the next prime number. 5. And if you notice, the 5 can divide the 3 numbers. That's why I'm going to circle it. So, now, 5 divided by 5 is 1, 5 divided by 5 is 1, 25 divided by 5 is 5. We finished these ones, so we're missing this one, which is 5 and 1. That's it, we finished. So, the GCF, or greatest common factor, between 30, 45, and 75 is going to be 15. Why 15? Because we have these two numbers circled. If we multiply 3 times 5, this one is 15. Perfect. Last 2 examples, and that's it. And you can go to do your homework in the assignment session of Teams. This one is going to be with big numbers because I want to show you that the process is the same. So we have 126, 162, 180. Let's try. The 3 numbers are divisible by 2 because they end in an even number. And let's do the division method. 1 divided by 2 is not possible. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Perfect. Now this one. 1 divided by 2 is not possible. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 1 divided by 2 is 1. Perfect. Now, 1 divided by 2 is not possible. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 0 divided by 2 is 0. And if you notice, the 2 was able to divide the 3 numbers. That's why I circled it. Now, let's try with these numbers over here. Only this one is divisible by 2, so I'm not going to circle it. 63 divided by 2 is not possible. This one is not possible. And 90 divided by 2 is 45. Perfect. Now let's see if it works with the 3, because none of them is divisible by 2. 6 plus 3 is 9, so it's divisible by 3. 8 plus 1 is 9, divisible by 3. 4 plus 5 is 9, is divisible by 3. All of them are divisible by 3, that's why we're going to circle the 3. Perfect. Now let's try to do the division. 63 divided by 3 is 21. If you don't know the answer, you can do 3 and 6 2 times, 3 and 3 1 time, it's the same. 82 divided by 3 is 27. And 45 divided by 3 is 15. Perfect. We can keep going with the 3, and if you notice, all of the numbers are divisible by 3. That's why we're going to circle it again. Okay, 21 divided by 3 is 7. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 15 divided by 3 is 5. That's it. Oh, sorry, no. We have one number divisible by 3 here, so we're going to use it. We'll bring the 7 down. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 5 divided by 3 is 5 because it's not possible. Once again, we can use the 3. This is going to be 1. We finished here, and we bring down the 7 and the 5. Now, we can no longer use the 3, so I'm going to use the 5. We finished here, and I bring down the 7. We're no longer going to be able to use the 5, so we use the 7, and this is going to be 1. Perfect. So the GCF, for this GCF, oh, I don't have space. Let's do it right here. The GCF for these numbers is going to be 3 times 3 times 2, and that is 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 18. That's it. That's the GCF of these numbers, okay? If you list the factors of all of the numbers, it's going to be 18. Why is this method easier? Because if you're going to list the whole factors of 126, 162, and 180, first you're going to spend a lot of time, and second, you have the chance to make a mistake and forget one of the factors. So this one is the easiest and the more like the more safe way to do it, the safer way to do it, okay, so you don't make a mistake. Now let's try with the last one. It's going to be 20, 42, and 72. So all of them are divisible by 2 because they end in an even number. And let's try to divide. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 42 divided by 2 is 21. 72 divided by 2 is 36. If you're not sure about this answer, 2 in 7 fits 3 times. You have 1 missing number. 2 in 12 is 6. Now, we're going... Wow, sorry for that. Now, we're going to use the 2 again, but in this case, 21 is not going to be divisible. That's why I'm not going to circle it. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 21 is not possible, so I bring it down. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Once again, I'm going to use the 2 only for this number, so I'm not going to circle it. I bring the 5 and the 21 down, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now, I don't have any other number divisible by 2, that's why I'm going to jump to the 3. 5 divided by 3 is not possible, so I bring it down. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So, once again, I'm going to use the 3 for this 3 over here, which is 1. The 7 and the 5 are not possible, so I bring them down. I'm not going to circle it because, as I already said, 5 and 7 are not divisible by 3. Now, I can use the 5. 1, 7, 7, 1. That's it. The GCF within these 3 numbers, 20, 42, and 72, is going to be 2. That's it. Guys, listen to this part. If none of the numbers are going to be circled, because none of them work for all the numbers, the GCF is always going to be 1. Why? Because if you go to this part, when you list the factors, remember all of the numbers have 1 as a factor. So if they don't have any other common factor, you're going to write 1. Okay? That's it. So we have these examples for least common multiple, this one for greatest common factor. If you want to take a picture, if you want to copy them in your notebook, it's up to you. Please review the exercises, try to do them by yourself to see if you have the same answer. Look at the differences and the similarities, and that's it. Have a nice day. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write us in the chat, or please go into the meeting again. Remember, we're right here waiting for you, okay? Bye-bye.